63. Okay, so worse in the southern part, where there's more votes. Palm Beach, 56. Not done performing, voting, but it's 56. Hey, you finished Bubba then? Biden winning the vote total, winning the electoral college total. Still, nobody feels good about him actually getting to 270 at this point. Clinton got 227. Oh, Z unknown. You can like Trump. I do not. Not a big fan of him, buddy. Clown's army of people is getting larger. Uh, I'd rather see a Biden presidency, Z unknown. I'd rather see a John Kasich presidency than a Biden presidency. Better than a baby sniffer? Are we getting into the name callings, buddy? I don't think killing 250,000 Americans with shitty policies is better than having pictures where you're close to a baby's head when you kiss him. Like, it's just not really a scandal, you know? Like, if you're like, Googly, you snort a little bit when you laugh. I'm like, that's true. Like, but, and that guy shoots people. And you're like, mm-hmm. And you were like, I don't know. You're a laugh snorter. And we're like, I think we need to look at what we feel is important and gauge, again, how important, these things are, Like, Trump did the whole thing. He was like, Biden doesn't even know if he's alive. And then, Biden went into the debates and they set the bar for Biden at not knowing he was alive and couldn't say a sentence. And the only reason he couldn't get through a sentence was because Trump interrupted him, right? Like, they clearly not senile, right? Just says a stutter. Okay. And again, mental acumen tests, not the ring that Trump wants to get into, right? Like, this is the guy who talks about his uncle being the best at nuclear. If you have a pants full of shit, you don't talk about the other guy's farting issues. You don't want to draw attention to your pants or anybody's pants, okay? That's not where you fight them. Okay, so socialism, not a fan of. Biden's not a socialist. He's just not. Uh, I know people are like all the time being like, "Oh, Democrats are socialists." They're not though, right? Be like saying, Trump, Ted Cruz, Jeb Bush, they're all the same person because they're Republicans. And you'd be like, well, no, they're not. Paul Ryan's not the same as Donald Trump. Ah, but they're Republicans, right? Like, no, they're not the same, right? Well, Bernie Sanders isn't even a Democrat, right? And he's the only Democratic socialist out there, right? Learn you something? Okay, what good comes from Biden? Let's take a world and just I'm gonna sell you on a potato here. Not even Biden yet. First, I'm gonna sell you on a potato. Okay? A potato is president at the start of 2019. Okay? A potato. And this potato just sits there. It just fucking doesn't do anything. Doesn't sit there. It doesn't scrap the pandemic plan that it had for its CDC. It doesn't take the pandemic response team and throw them into the bioweapons division for some reason. And it doesn't take money that we were using to make sure we were on top of pandemic stuff around the world and cut it just because, right? Because it's a potato, it can't do those things. Okay? Then, pandemic hits. Well, potato can't stop a pandemic, but all of the people that were hired can go, okay, well, we have a pandemic response team. We were able to work in these other countries and identify them. And we've got a plan from last time that we can kind of use as a guide and see how well we do. Okay, that's good. A potato doesn't tell people, I'm not going to wear masks, so you shouldn't. You can. I don't care. So a potato doesn't politicize masks, right? That's important. It's important. Okay. So masks aren't politicized. Potatoes aren't pushing for people to go out of lockdowns before they're ready to get out of lockdowns. And some of these places need to go into lockdown. Like, there was big fucking trouble in states like mine, like Michigan. And so, if masks don't become an us versus them thing, it becomes Americans working together to protect their community thing. Because nobody, like, the potato isn't taking time to, like, distract people with it. Then, well, more people wear masks, which means we actually get out of our problems faster, right? Then we move on to, okay. So, potato doesn't tell the specialists and the scientists to downplay the virus. And the potato doesn't downplay the virus, right? The potato can't. It's a potato. So the potato doesn't downplay the virus. The potato doesn't talk over its scientists. Doesn't try to muzzle its scientists. Doesn't try to put scientists who aren't epidemiologists out there to say things that aren't true. Because he's a potato. So at this point, we are in line with the rest of the world as far as our pandemic response, right? Maybe even everyone in the world has benefited from the fact that we did the same stuff we did when Ebola had its breakout, and we had people on the ground over there, and we prevented it from being worse, right? Because we had the game plan, we had the money, we had the people over there. They were focused on not bioweapons, which have a different vector of attack across across a population, and different ways the virus would be like it spread and whatnot. No, we have people who are focused in pandemics, right? And so the potato, by virtue of being a potato, has now lost at least 100,000 less lives than Donald Trump so far. Now, a potato cannot enact mass contact tracing, right? New Zealand, over there, their last outbreak, they were able to trace it down to a elevator button and a garbage can lid. Elevator button and a garbage can lid. Just throw it out there. Do you think we are less or more capable than New Zealand? Are we less or more capable than New Zealand? I'd say financially, we're probably more capable than New Zealand. I'd say we have more resources than New Zealand, right? That seems right. Okay, so how much does it cost to create a lab that will be able to handle additional testing needed? How much does it take to? No, let's not even go there yet. Let's not even go to like what good will come from Trump. Let's just talk about the potato versus the thing, right? Potato can't spend money to make the labs so that our country, just like England and Slovakia, tested 500,000 people a day, right? So wasn't that Slovakia? How much it would cost to to improve the labs around the country, right? So that we could do same-day testing. Because you don't have to lock down if you can same-day test with some accuracy, contact trace, okay? And you can have teams that out there that can try to get things quarantined in a limited manner, right? That's all I'm saying. But Potato can't do this, but Trump could have, right? And you say, well, that costs money to do that. Well, it costs money for 250,000 people to die, too. It costs money to keep going in and out of shutdowns. It costs a lot of money to have motorcycle rallies that are super spreader events and rallies that are super spreader events, right? Trump, it says that 30,000 of his 30,000 infections have come from just his rallies, and 700 people have died from those. Now, there are no such links to Biden's rallies because he does a smaller rally or he has people in cars and stuff. Right? So just COVID level, we have Potato would be better than Trump, and Biden's already said he would basically do the things that Trump didn't do. Now, what did Trump do? He put in a travel ban from China, but it wasn't a total ban, and over 40,000 Chinese people came through anyways. Now, if you have a door that lets in 40,000 people, would you say it's a closed door? I would say it's not. Just me. I would say that's not really a ban. Also, this thing, when it was enacted, that was after the virus was already here. So, Potato 2020, right? Potato 2020.